I would define domestic abuse as emotional, physical, financial, and psychological hurt to people. I think it's a difficult situation to escape, and I think the repercussions of that are very harmful towards women and their children.
I think I would define domestic abuse as a situation where you don't feel comfortable in the, I guess, place you stay. And I feel that no one else should be domestically abused. You should be comfortable in where you're living, and you should definitely report that.
I define domestic abuse as some kind of violence, like aggressive behavior or physical violence that takes place within the home of a family between a husband and a wife or two spouses, essentially.
When a male hits a woman.
Uh, the video made me feel pretty sad and kind of left without words for the most part. I don't really have anything to say, just very, very touched inside.
The video really touched me. I definitely saw the powers of domestic abuse, and it really hurts other people who have to actually live in this bad situation. So you should definitely report it if you see domestic abuse.
I was personally touched by the video. I'm not a personal victim of domestic abuse, nor do I know anyone, but I do understand the effects that it has on women, and the video did a good and comprehensive job of getting those effects in.
Aware, more aware than I already was.
I think that, I mean, personally, I would think that the population that's most vulnerable would be kind of young women that just are newly wedded, brides, typically because, they're kind of introduced to the whole the concept of marriage, and that's probably the ones that I think are most susceptible to the whole issue.
I would think that it's women who are 18 and 24, and probably married.
The young and the elder.
I mean, I think it's just, when you're young, particularly women and men are just kind of not very intelligent with their selections on who to marry, and that kind of leaves open, more vulnerabilities between your relationship, and you're just going to naturally, it'll cause a little bit more fights, and when you're kind of young and not really mature, men are going to resort to some pretty crazy ways to deal with their frustration, I guess, in a relationship.
I think they're at a place in their life where they might still be figuring out their life financially, and especially if there are kids involved, that might be difficult. And so for men, I think it'd be easy for men to take advantage of them and cause harm to them. So I think that's why they're mostly susceptible to domestic abuse.
I feel that young women actually are mainly domestically abused. I think it's just a thought that they're less powerful and have no power for themselves to actually stop this domestic abuse or any type of violence in general.
Because they are not as tough and educated.